payments go straight to principal. What you need to do is this. Anyway, you're making the payments, let's say, of $2,000 a month. That's your mortgage payment. And out of that $2,000, $400 go to principal. So that's the structure of your payment. Let's say 3 or 4 years into the mortgage. What you need to do is make your regular payment like you make it every month, $2,000 a month. But immediately next to it, with the money that you saved from the credit cards, whatever money that you saved, you write another check. Let's say tomorrow, actually January 1st, you're going to write the mortgage check for $2,000. You write another check for $400, the principal amount that you saved from the credit cards. You have now a cushion, then you pay another, so you're going to pay a total of $2,400. But with the check of the principal amount, tell him that this is the payment, the principal amount of the payment of February. And you make sure you call him, and make sure you assure them that that $400 is not going to go. What they do is that, a lot of people say, you know what, I'll pay $2,000 extra a month. What they do is that they have their calculation. You bought the house for $200,000. It should be paid off after 30 years with $600,000. So what they do, they take the $2,000 and pay it off the back end after they compounded the interest rates for 30 years. So what do you tell them? I'm paying that $400 for the immediate month, or specifically for the principal payment of the month of February. From January 1st to February 1st, they cannot charge you any interest, they cannot compound any interest upon you, because you paid them the principal payment of the month of February a month earlier in advance. Comes February, you make your payment of $2,000 and you write him another check. Here's $400 extra, that is for the principal, the principal amount for the payment of March. And you keep doing that. Now when we say the principal amount, hopefully that's what you pay, but if you can't pay more, then pay more. This is towards the principal, charge it for the immediate month. You do that, and just to understand the viciousness of compounding interest and how big of a crime it is, if you make one additional payment at the end of the year, so you make 12 monthly payments a year, you make it 13 payments, just one additional payment. It would take a 30 years loan from 30 years to 22 years. Just one payment. You know why? Because that one payment that you paid extra this year killed all the compounding interest upon it for the next 29 years. Or whatever amount that is left for the loan. If you do that now monthly, so you don't wait for them to compound interest for you, upon you, for an entire year, no, month by month I'm killing the compounding of the interest, then you can pay your mortgage off between 6.5 to 7 years. And the software for amortization tables is available there. You can try it yourself and you can play with the numbers. And the more you add, the more you get rid of it. The most important thing, inshallah, this is doable. A lot of people think back, I've been in this country for 26 years. I have a kid in college, subhanAllah. If you look back, it passes like no time. But if you kept the discipline and made a vow with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm going to get away from the haram for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do this, 6 years is a very short period of time. And then all of a sudden, you have no mortgage, you have no credit card debts, and all the payments that used to make a month are available for you with your income. What you do with it, now you reverse the table. If you can find a halal way to invest that money, whether buy real estate for cash, or pool your money together, or find a good company that deals in halal, that does not deal in riba, does not have bonds, and you buy that company, let's say a technology infrastructure company, buy it at a good price, do your due diligence, and if that company would give you maybe a 6% to 10% return, which is very reasonable in Wall Street, all of a sudden, that halal return is now compounding with you. You have a house that is fully paid, you don't want anyone, you buy something, you can go buy whatever that you want, inshallah, for cash, and that cash that you have, or the additional money that you have, if you compound that now, the next 20 years that you saved, that you would have been enslaved, and that house just paid it off, now that $400,000 extra that you have paid on top of $200,000, the worth of the house, now that $400,000 is another $600,000 or $1 million that you compounded over the years for yourself. It's very simple. Discipline, do not weigh down. Oh, I have a lot of money now, let me go back to Egypt and act like I'm a rich tourist. Shaitan would come to live you. Shaitan would, come on, they're giving you a good deal. You have great credit score. Now all your credit cards are paid. You can buy this deal and they're going to give you only 0% for 5 years, 3 years. Shaitan will come to you. They're agents of the shaitan. And there's so many temptations. You vow with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will save you that, and you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to your family. People, and this is documented by the numbers, with $60,000 incomes that did this after 6 years, in another 12 years they had $1 million in the retirement accounts by just compounding, profits on their portfolio, whatever investment that they have, with 8% a year. It's as if now you are the one who's making all that money, but you're making it the halal way with a return that is halal, inshallah, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even if you don't make the compound return, the money that you would save from the credit cards and the personal accounts and the mortgage is a fortune on its own. People would retire on that money. If you can go, and that's why the Obama administration, when they started that consumer protection agency, if you can, go back to your old account statements, whatever, for a mortgage or account, and just add the interest that you've been paying. Some people pay attention to that when they go at the end of the year and look at the amount of interest that they pay with the mortgage, and they're happy, oh, that's tax deductible. But subhanAllah, do the math. Most of us are highly educated, subhanAllah. If I'm on a 30% tax bracket, then any tax deductible out of that dollar that I got from interest that I'm going to deduct from my taxes, I just save 30 cents. And I give the mortgage company the other 70 cents. What kind of deal is that? I save 30 cents, and for saving that 30 cents, I give you 70 cents. It doesn't make sense. But they fool you. And if you add the amounts, wallahi, if someone look at the numbers for the past 15 years, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afflicted you with these payments and these, you have paid up, you would have retired right now with the amount of money that you gave these people. But that's riba. And that's why it's haram. And that's why they take advantage of people. And that's why they ruin societies and they ruin the world. The $6 trillion that they printed just to bring us back to the economic level and save us from that depression that we're in. They call it recession. It's a depression that we were in. $6 trillion, you can build another planet from scratch, brand new, for $6 trillion. I remember the country of Gambia, an entire country, they're all Muslims in Africa. They had a famine, and the president was pleading with the international community. $20 million would solve the problem, will feed an entire nation. $20 million. $6 trillion what they paid. And everybody got affected. And subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the wisdom and shows it. I read it myself in the official newspaper of the Vatican. It's called Observatore Romano. That the Pope said, enough with what happened to us in 2008 with Western banking. I authorized the Bank of the Vatican to yield and adapt the investment ways of Islamic law. Because the only investments that did not go down, Islamic investment. Cash, you want to lend your own cash. And there's no interest. And if anyone borrow, it has to be against the collateral of cash or cash equivalent. So everything has real value. It's not, Lehman Brothers is a company that have been there for 150 years. So they issue bonds, you buy the bonds and they pay you interest. And they have nothing to cover it. So they go out of business on a Sunday. What happens? The bonds are worthless. Who's paying? You and me, even though we don't deal in riba. So inshallah, learn, and if anyone has any questions, inshallah, I'll answer it. Write it down so you don't forget, inshallah. Tell other people about it. Make sure, and every penny they save. And every bit that they get out of the haram, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a reward, exactly the same reward that you get from it. Inshallah. And then I'll open for questions, inshallah. Yes, ma'am.
But some mortgage company will encourage you to make like 2 payments per month. Is that the same as...
No, the bi-weekly payment, if you look at it at the end of the year, you will have made an entire monthly payment. So they let you do that, and that's, if you can't do that, that is beneficial. However, the true way, the best way, is to kill the compounding of interest. Which, the way that I'm telling you, month by month, you pay the principal of the following month in advance next to your payment. And that would literally destroy the compounding interest of it, and, inshallah, you pay it off in almost no time. And the more money you get a bonus, put it in the principal, and tell them, put it from the principal now, not at the back end, apply to the immediate month's principal. Because they'll do that if you don't tell them.
So they let you do that?
What's that? Luckily, New Jersey is not a prepayment penalty state, so Some mortgages in the 70s and 80s, if you want to pay it off less than 30 years, they would put a penalty upon you. They want to rip you off. Hey, I'm coming to rob you and you stopping me? You know, they want to do that. So they mandate a law. Most of the states are not prepayment penalty. So you can do that when you have to go, and each, and this is my advice to you, put a letter with that additional payment of the principal. Tell him I want it to be applied to the immediate month and with registered mail. And keep the track record. And call the customer service. Did you receive BAPMES? Did you apply to the immediate month? Every single month. Don't trust the thief to protect your money.
Or you can pay them over the phone?
What do you mean?
I mean, you can call them and you can pay them over the phone by...
No, you can pay whichever way. The direct deposit, whichever way. The payment method is not the problem. The point is that they apply the payment the correct way that you need to do. Because guess what? You are shaving the 200,000 or 400,000 extra that they're going to charge from you. They have no best interest. They actually very interested to act like they're stupid. They don't understand what you're talking about. But demand it and put it in writing. Yes, ma'am.
Bi-monthly payment has another defect. They charge you $5 or $6 every transaction charges. So over the years, that will be $5 times 12, $60 times $30 more charge.
And exactly. Yes,
I have two questions.
Sure.
I'll ask the easy question first.
Yes.
So if I paid off the credit card balance in full, then we are not paying any interest. Is that permissible?
For the credit card?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
When you receive the statement, the entire balance is $600. Send them a check for $600, you'll never hear from them again.
Yeah, and we can reuse the credit card again and again. That's truly a problem, right?
Yeah, but don't do that. You just pay it off and do not borrow money again.
If I pay off every month, then I'm not paying any interest, right?
At the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's a problem with that. This is allowed. This is allowed because you actually did not borrow and nobody charged you riba.
Right.
But the contract itself is a contract of riba. And that puts you in a shubha and a doubt that you fall into. And I know people, 20 years old, they never woke up. And now they have that balance, who's going to pay it? And sometimes their family do not know. And now riba is stamped on their forehead and they cannot do anything about it. So be careful. And, I need to add something here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wisdom made one of the pillars of our deen is fasting. We deny ourselves and we're in control of our self-desires of the most basic of our desires. Eating and drinking, we're in absolute control of our beings. A Muslim, a true Muslim who sincerely fasts for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can say no to any haram. That's a training camp that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts you in every year to be able to say no to these things. So the flashy, no.
My second question
Sure.
is, so you actually said continue on paying the additional on top of the
mortgage
payment, right?
yes.
But it's still riba, right? We are paying riba, right?
Yeah, but you see,
shouldn't you say that instead of that pay off and go to rent or something, right?
no,
Because
if you
we're
can
paying
get
riba,
rid
right?
of the mortgage, get rid of it right now. If you can get off it, but the problem is people who fell into it, made so much payments on it, and their credit is going to be destroyed, and people are going to sue them, and they're going to be liable for that, then now we have a problem.
No, but the time period we will be paying is still doing the haram thing, right?
Yeah, but
For example,
you
20 years.
see, in Islamic law, there's this rule. ما لا يدرك كله لا يترك كله. What I cannot have all, I should not leave all. So if you can get out, do not get into mortgages to begin with. That's what I've been telling people for years. But if you fell into it and you're going to have financial damage, darar, that really can affect the quality of your life in a way that is really severe, then this is a way to get out quicker. This is the quickest way possible to get out of riba without destroying yourself. But if you can, if you don't care about your credit anymore, or that you file for bankruptcy or whatever, do it, get out of riba. But I'm doing it in a way that you don't have to devastate yourself, but you get out the quickest, inshallah. Yes, ma'am. I'll get you that.
Brother, what's your opinion on some of the Sharia-compliant banking that we have now in the markets?
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. When guidance came out the first time, I was so happy, subhanAllah. But I know the fiqh of riba, so I called guidance. I said the most important question that you should ask any of these companies, where do you get your money from? The brother, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him, told me, you know what? There's a rich African-American brother who was in construction, and now he want to do this. So I figured, you know what, they're going to help at least some people get off riba. The following year, I get an advertising that big. We have lent $500 billion to the Muslim community and we're celebrating that $500 million. I asked myself, which African brother that I interest that he has $500 billion to give and he would not take it till it's 30 years. And when I asked around and I debated the people and I studied